Hello children, NannyG calling in from Wonga Bonga again. So nice to see you today. It's a beautiful day out there. There's butterflies flying around and bees and ants and all sorts of things. All sorts of life going on in the world today. Yes, well I thought I would show you today how NannyG does her knitting. I do knitting. See, I use all these lovely balls and lovely coloured wools and everything. And what I do, children, is I put them in my magic box. See, they're in the magic box. That's what I do. And because I don't like to spend a lot of time on knitting, I just thought, well, I'll use the magic box. That's what I'll do. So I shake my wool up like this, and I put it down, and I open up the box, and out comes my beautiful knitting. In this case, it's really crocheting, because I like to crochet as well. Isn't that lovely? Look at that. So I'm going to make a big blanket, you see, and I'm going to crochet everything, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular, children. The colours in it, well, you'll be able to see them from space. Yes, you will. They'll be so lovely and bright and, oh, you know, just so pretty. Well, here comes Jake. Hello, Jake. How are you? He's good. Say hello to the children. Yes, that's about all he says, as you may know by now. Well, you don't talk much, do you, Jake? Well, we have a very interesting story today, don't we, Jake? What's the story? The March of the Wonga Bonga Ants. That's right. So I'm going to tell that story, Jake. But in the meantime, I have a little job for you to do. It's, you know, good for him to go and do jobs while I tell stories, children. So I want you to go and tell the monkeys to knit, because I don't think they'd be very good at crocheting. So I want you to tell them to knit a long scarf for the giraffe for winter. That's right. They need to be busy, the monkeys, or they get up to all sorts of mischief around here, don't they, Jake? They do. All right, you go and do that, Jake. All right, bye. Bye. It'll be a long scarf, children, because, well, as you may know, giraffes have long necks. Yes, they do. So you can just imagine how long that scarf is going to be. Well, as I said before, we're going to tell a story about these ants. Look at them here. Can you see them? Well, here goes the story. Neath the Wonga Bonga jungle, where the trees were all a tangle, under bungle, twisty vines and witch seed pods did a jangle, the great Wonga ant colony was preparing to leave their little city due to great overcrowding, which was sadly an awful pity. Sometimes cities just get crowded. We want to move out to the country, don't we? Well, these guys, these ants, they weren't going to the country, no. Well, the Wonga Bonga ants, they loved their underground residence. Neath the coolness of the trees they packed with gloomy hesitance, till the king, here he is up here, the king of Wonga Antland stood tall upon his throne. Oh, yeah. Declaring to them firmly that they must all leave their home and march across the jungle far to the opposite side to see if there was room to be found beneath the great Wonga Bonga tree. There's a really big tree in Wonga Bonga. It's mainly called the Wonga Bonga tree. Oh, you've got to look hard for it too. So gathering in their thousands, they stood in line, well, sort of. The king was hoisted on his throne and sat there like he ought to. There he is, sitting on his throne. See? That's what he does. Forward, ho! He yelled aloud as soldier ants took up the lead. Scouting ants were sent ahead and they hurried on with speed, warning other insects, grasshoppers and caterpillars and slugs, that the ant army was marching. Move over or become flat bugs. Crickets hopped in disarray and beetles took to flight, and worms and maggots wriggled off as the ant colony came into sight. Over twigs and leaves and branches and cross mud and water and clay, the mighty tribe of Wonga Bonga Ants marched day after weary day. Oh, marching, marching, marching. Oh, I might have a sound. Hang on. There they were, marching day after day, day after day, till the other side at last they reached and found the very tree where the Wonga Bonga bird himself sat snoring happily. Dig like mad, one little ant, he yelled. The Wonga Bonga ant eater is coming to eat his fill. Ooh. Fear and panic rose out in the ranks, and heaps of ants, well, they just ran away. The king wondered if any of his subjects would be left at the end of the day. All worker ants, hurry now and dig with all your might. This colony must get underground before the evening light. Oh, they were all out in the open, and the Wonga Bonga anteater was coming to eat them. Sniffle, snuffle, snortle, they heard the anteater's nose portal. He's got a long nose. Sucking up stragglers slack as he laughed and gave a chortle. Chortle means a laugh. Means a laugh, children. The workers hurried quickly to scrape and scratch down deeply, till 2 big tunnels soon descended safely and somewhat steeply. Yes. Under the tree roots at last, exhausted and with shoulders drooped, worker ants gathered below. Their troops were weakly and pooped. Later on, the king remarked that only half of the ant colony was left, so they began a brand new city, even though many were bereft of aunts and uncles and cousins and mothers and sisters and brothers, snuffled by the anteater, so they'd now have to rear many others. That means they'd have to have lots more little ants to bring up in the colony. They knew their trick. Isn't this a lovely picture? Isn't it lovely? They knew their trick had not been in vain. Old things had passed away. New adventures lay before them all, and here for years they'd stay. Finally the colony was growing, and there was so much extra room. A light shone down the tunnel at night. There it is. Look and see it. This is what I need to do. There is it. Shone down the tunnel. There we go. There's the tunnel going down into there. So the light shone down from the Wonga Bonga moon. Oh, isn't that nice? The nice Wonga Bonga moon. And always on remembrance occasions, ants were together and sang of the march from their old city, yelling, "Long live the king! Yes, long live the king!" There we go. He's looking out at the moon. Isn't that a nice story? Well, I have one other piece of advice for you children, and that is how to keep monsters out of your closet. Well, look at this. This is a jar, and it seems to have flowers in it, doesn't it? Nice flowers in it. But in fact, it's called the fart jar. A fart jar, children. And what you do is you get a jar, a nice looking jar, and you pull the top off, and you put some just plastic flowers in it, and then you fart in it. As you do, you fart in it, and you put the lid on it, and you put it in your closet, and when the monsters arrive, and they think, oh, that looks like quite a nice jar, we'll just pull the top out of that. Well, guess what? They won't stand around, and they'll run away, far away, far away, and you just leave that fart jar in your closet, children. And believe me, it's enough to make your hair turn pink. Yes, it is. Getting the fart in the jar. So just do that and leave that in your closet. All right, that'll keep the monsters away. Well, it's goodbye now, and you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.